Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll start with another topic, and that is ecological restoration. Now, let us try to understand what is the meaning of ecological restoration. So, as the word implies, ecological restoration. So, as we all know, what is the meaning of restoration, and we have also studied the meaning of ecology. Okay, when we talk about study of environment, that is called as ecology. And when you say restoration, it basically means uh, to restore something which has been affected, and now you're trying to restore it. So this whole thing is called as ecological restoration. So what is the meaning of ecological restoration in simple language? Restoring the environment or restoring something from the environment which has been affected will be called as ecological restoration. Now let us see the definition. It can have many definitions, and one of them is as such. It is the process of assisting the recovery of an ecosystem that has been degraded, damaged, or destroyed. So, what is the simple definition over here? It is the process. So, ecological restoration is a process of assisting the recovery of an ecosystem. So it is nothing but it is the recovery of an ecosystem. So there is an ecosystem which includes all our environment, plant, animal, living things, non-living thing, everything comes in ecosystem. So the surrounding which we are living, recovering of this ecosystem, recovering of this surrounding that has been degraded, damaged, or destroyed. So, we all have seen in the previous classes that how by various anthropogenic activities we have destroyed our environment, we have done a lot of damage to this environment, and now it is a time that we recover it. So, recovering of that damaged environment, recovering of that degraded environment is called as ecological restoration. Now, it is an intentional activity that initiates or accelerates an ecological pathway or trajectory through time towards a reference state. So, what is the meaning of this sentence? It means that the ecological restoration which is there, it is an intentional activity. Now, what is the meaning of intentional activity? See, there is a the ecological restoration can take place by itself also. Now, let me just give you a very simple example. That if imagine a patch of forest, okay, that has burned, okay, due to some reason. After some time, automatically there will be small plants, trees growing in that particular area. That will happen even if someone don't go and plant trees over there. So that is a natural way of ecological restoration, wherein a small part of forest has been rejuvenated. It has come by itself. That is a natural type of ecological restoration. But we cannot wait for that because we are destroying this environment in a very fast way. So we have to do it, we have to recover it. We have, for example, if there is deforestation, so we should start planting trees. Now when we are doing this, we know that it is an intention, so it is based on our desire that we have to restore it, because if we don't restore it, we will be having very bad consequences. So it is an intentional activity. So let us see some detail about restoration ecology. Due to several impacts humans have already inflicted on the landscape and the expensive cost of real estate, restoring a landscape may be more feasible than other option. This is a relatively new field and many advances have been made. So what is the meaning of this? That first of all, restoration ecology, as we saw in the last slide, it is not something which is new thing. Okay, it has always been there, existing in its own way, that is natural way. But we have understood it in a very recent past, that we have to, so it is quite new field when it comes from human understanding. Okay, and it has really made some advances in this field. So there are a lot of work which has been done on restoration ecology. However, we rarely restore something to its former glory and functionality. Now, it's an obvious thing that if something was there already, but still, whatever we will recover, it will not be exactly how it was used to be in previous or past time. So, Though we will restore it, but it will not be having the same glory and functions as it had before. So, specifically, restoration ecology is the process of intentionally altering a site to establish a defined indigenous historic ecosystem. So, what is a restoration ecosystem? Uh, it is nothing but it is a process, okay, because it does not happen overnight. It has to take place, because destroying can take place within few minutes, but when you have to restore it, it takes a long time. So, restoring something will be a process of intentionally altering a site. So you're intentionally doing this, you're altering a site to establish what you're establishing, a defined indigenous in the sense what? Whatever was there previously to its native form, historic ecosystem which was already existing. So we are trying to get back what we have already lost. The goal is to emulate the structure, function, diversity, and dynamics of the specified ecosystem. So whatever ecosystem we are trying to restore, we must ensure that the structure has been properly emulated. Function has to be there. It should function properly. There should be much of diversity, and it should have proper dynamics. So these are very important factors. Otherwise, there is no use of restoring or moving a degraded system back towards one of greater structural and functional diversity. So whatever you're restoring, it should have proper structure, and it should be functionally it should be properly functioning its diversity. So now this restoration ecology has uh, it has again grown, and it has it has many disciplines and sub-disciplines of natural sciences. Like now we are doing this in ecology, not only in environment, hydrology, that is restoration of water, geomorphology, soil science, geochemistry, animal behavior, pop biology. So there are many fields of it, and in various dimensions of ecology we are trying to save, or we are trying to restore those things. Now let us start with the beginning. Let us start with the scratch. What is degraded ecosystem? So as we know that when any ecosystem is under the attack as a result of natural or man-made disaster, it is called as degraded ecosystem. So you can see two pictures. One is of drought where there is no water, and there is one more picture wherein you can see a tiger who has already died, maybe due to poisonous water which has, or toxic water which it has taken, or maybe due to the forest it is living, there is no food, probably. So what is degraded ecosystem? So it is nothing but a destroyed ecosystem which we have created. We have already created a disaster in many places. It can be due to man-made activity, it can be due to some natural activity. So that will be called as a degraded ecosystem. And what are the causes of degradation? So from the past few days we have seen many classes in which we have spoken about causes of degradation. First, unsustainable land is major cause of land degradation. If the land is not sustainable, if we are not using in a way that it can be, we are just continuously building things like schools and colleges, we are making homes for everyone, but we are not taking care of that land. We don't know how much that land can, we don't know how it is suffering. So that is how we are causing land degradation. Biodiversity loss, and thus demanding concerted efforts for systematic land use planning. We have to think of proper land use planning from future perspective. We have to do it all uh, in a way that it should be sustainable, because biodiversity loss, when one try to clear one patch of land, it is not only clearing of some trees or plants, but also there are thousands of insects over there. There are thousands of millions of microorganisms in that patch of area. So we are actually killing all of them. So that area is always diverse. So one has to think that we have to restore all the biodiversity. Third is sewage runoff. As we know that sewage runoff causes eutrophication of lakes, which will again result into water degradation. And then in lakes, phosphorus limits cyanobacterial growth more often than nitrogen. And that is why we are talking about phosphate free detergents, because we know that phosphorus, the element which is there, it will uh, limit cyanobacterial growth. Okay, and that will again led to water degradation. So we are trying to get some detergents which will be phosphate free. Okay, and then let us talk about the natural calamities. So these were the man-made issues. Apart from that, when you talk about the natural calamities, there are volcanic eruptions, then there are earthquakes, floods, storm, and disease outbreak and famine. So these are various natural reasons why, uh, because if obviously if there's a volcanic eruption or if there's an earthquake or flood in a specific area, then one has to restore those lives back, because not only human beings but all the uh, you know even the houses or the nearby villages, they all suffer a lot. There's a lot of loss, and one has to recover from that loss. So it is, these are the natural calamities which will be causing uh, the degradation. So human impacts on ecosystem, what are the various human impacts? One is our population has been growing rapidly, so one has to control it. Deforestation, degradation is the second thing, cutting of trees and degrading our environment. Fragmentation and loss of habitat, because we are all, for example, there were all jungles before, but now we are cutting all the trees, we are making land from it. We want plots, we want everything to be built properly, so we are losing all our habitat. Low crop genetic diversity, again, at some level we are talking about genetic diversity, where we are trying to produce various things. We are trying to produce a lot of hybrids, so we are getting crops which are not of very good quality. Then we have also done a lot of environmental pollution. Again, it includes many types of pollution, subtypes of pollution. Then we have climate change, which is also obviously very major impact of human being on the ecosystem, that because of our anthropogenic activities, how it has, and we have seen this already in previous classes, how it has affected climate. And use of nuclear power also degrade ecosystem. Obviously, this we have discussed that nuclear fission or fusion, these are the reactions which has a very bad outbreak. It brings about a lot of destruction, and hence we have to stop these nuclear attacks. So, ecological restoration. Now we saw how degradation takes place, and hence we have to stop it. We have to think of restoring it. So, the process of repairing the damage, whatever damage we have caused, and repairing this damage caused by humans to the biodiversity and natural dynamics of natural ecosystem, accomplished through restoration to natural state. One thing is restoration. Second is rehabilitation to functional ecosystem, that we have to rehabilitate it, we have to bring it back so that it can function in a similar fashion. Replacement with another ecosystem, if there was one ecosystem, existing ecosystem, it has been completely eradicated. So the next thing is that we have to restore, we have to replace it so that we can have a new proper functional ecosystem. Or the last option is creating artificial ecosystem. We can create some ecosystem which is artificially done by human beings. So ecological restoration refers to the rehabilitation, reclamation, recreation and recovery of degraded lands. We will try to understand these terms in future slides. These efforts may be conducted on either a small scale, that's what we discussed, that either it can be a small scale, just planting a tree is still restoration. May involve major human and technical efforts like recreation of wetlands, acid lake neutralization. Example, that if there is a lake which has been completely acidified due to sewage issues or acid rain, and there are no diversity, there are no fishes or nothing in that lake, then it is a responsibility that it can be done, that we have to neutralize that lake by various things. We have that technology where we can do it, so that can be done at a very huge level also, restoration. So what is enhancement? Enhancement is nothing but when you're trying to restore something but it has not taken place as expected, or it is still in quite its basic state, it is called enhancement. So basically enhancement means that it has quite improved. For example, let us just try to understand this in terms of figures. If there is something at 100 level, okay, and we have restored it to basic 10, we have come to that 10 level, so you can say it is enhancement. We have not reached a 50% also, but we are trying to do it, but it has not it still remains far from its pristine state. It is still way too ahead that original structure and functional ecosystem, then that will be called as enhancement. The second thing is rehabilitation. What is rehabilitation? If the ecosystem is significantly improved but remains quite distinct from its pre-degradation condition, it means that it is quite 30% improvement. We have trying to improve, but it is not very significant. That will be called as rehabilitation. So this is frequently the objective in areas that have been strip mined. So example of this will be oil sands in Alberta. Third one is reclamation. What is reclamation? Stabilizing land and restoring sufficient soil to revergerate the land without attempting to restore the condition before mining. So you can say reclamation is something wherein you have achieved a 60%. We are trying to stabilize that environment which has been already destroyed. And replacement, you can say, is the last level wherein you are building a whole new community that meets some set of conservation objective, but it is unlike the one degraded. Obviously it cannot be original one like the previous one, but still we have replaced. You can see two pictures, one is completely dry and you can see one completely trees. So if you're able to build this much also, it will be replacement. And finally the restoration, that is rebuilding an entire ecosystem, little different from the pristine, that is the original one that was degraded, but still one is able to restore it completely. So that will be called as restoration. It is done to the physical environment and to plants. In restoration, for animals there are translocation, reintroduction. So basically this restoration which we are talking about, it is done for some plants or it is done for our physical environment, but we don't do it for things like animals. So when you are restoring animals, so we don't say restoring animals, we call them translocation, that is changing the location of the animals, or reintroduction, that is bringing them back to the same place. So examples of them can be grey wolf or Aldraba tortoise, or there are many other examples. Let us say that, for example, if in Belgaum there was one species existing, but now it is not found, or in say in Western Ghats there was one particular species, but now it is not found, but same species we found in some other place in India. So what we can do is we can bring those animals, we can translocate those animals, not all of them, but we can bring 2 to 3 4, and we can try to restore their population. We can try to increase their population in Western Ghats. So that type of thing which we are able to do, that is also a type of restoration which we do in terms of animals. So what are the principles of restoration? First principle says that one must identify the cause of degradation. What is the cause? First, natural, or second, man-made. If natural, what type of natural degradation? If man-made, what type of man-made degradation? Stop abuse by reducing factors. So we should not do anything which will reduce the or which will deteriorate this ecosystem. Then reintroduce species if necessary. So if there is any species which has gone, which has been extinct from that particular area, then one must try to restore it. And the last one is protect area from further degradation. At least that we can do that. If already we have lost a lot of things, one must stop few activities so that we should not lose anything in future. So when you talk about the history of this restoration ecology, it came as a separate field in late 20th century. And this term was coined by Eber William Jordan in University of Wisconsin. But as we discussed that the lay people, that is the common people, have been practicing ecological restoration or management for thousands of years. So it is not new in that way. So there can be many examples of ecology restoration. It can be forest restoration, it can be aquatic restoration, or restoration of some lake, restoration of some land. It can be anything. Okay, there are various examples of it which you can give in exams also. So like the first one is forest restoration. So what is the meaning of forest restoration? So imagine if a forest is there and it has lost its biodiversity, there are no plants existing. So we can try to plant more trees, we can give some time, we should not conduct any activity in that particular place. And that is how we can reduce the things. Apart from that, there are various methods by which we can reduce tropical deforestation. Anyhow, we not go in detail of all these things. So one must take help of local communities, the tribal people if it is forest, because they are very much aware of using the things from the forest, but at the same time maintaining its dignity. Like they don't destroy the forest things. They treat them like their own god. They have a lot of faith in that. So one must take help from the experts, that is the local communities, any forest officer over there, and with the help of all these people one can restore that place, one that forest. Okay, so many people can come, youth can come out for that. Then comes aquatic ecosystem. So when you talk about the aquatic ecosystem, again we know that the rivers, sea, ocean, whatever aquatic source it is used, it has been using, we have been using these resources for hundreds of years for food, water, irrigation, electric generation, transport. So we are using a lot of, we are trying to get, or you can in simple words we can say we are exploiting these aquatic bodies, and that has caused environmental issues. So how we can restore it? We can control the pollution, because we have spoken about water pollution in the last video. We can think of controlling the pollution, which will stop it. Second, environmental and conservation policies. That is, we have to not only come up with the laws, but we have to implement those policies. Control fishing, that we should not go for overfishing, because fishes are said to maintain cleanliness. Also they are diverse, they do a lot of activities, they try to keep sustain that water in its original form. If we kill those, it will affect the whole food chain, food web again. So controlled fishing should be there. Civic education, education is very much important over here. Restriction over aggressive coastal developments. One has to, government should take steps that the coastal areas which should be there, that has to be the type of development taking place in that areas should be stopped. Limiting land conversion drive, using designate routes only during shipping. So even when shipping is happening, it should not go through a passage wherein many life forms are living. Instead, because it produces a lot of pollution, there are a lot of chances of certain leakage and other incidents. So it should choose a path which will not cause much harm. The next one is controlled fishing, as we discussed, fishing which is sustainable, because fishes keep on reproducing is one thing, but if we try to eat all the fishes, then what can happen? We know they will get extinct. That will affect whole food web and food cycle. So we should not cause over fishing. So this is just one cartoon which is depicting that. You can see that how people are continuously exploiting fishes. They are just without any thought, without knowing that when they are going to reproduce, whatever, they are just taking all the fishes, bag full of fishes. Apart from that, restricting over aggressive coastal development, that is, governments can use only the relevant coastal location, that is, which will be boosting other activities such as trade, but they should make it sure that they should not use certain part of water where there is much diversity. That is also a very important thing. Using designate routes only during shipping. So whatever this we have discussed, that routes has to be taken which will be limiting the spread of danger that can be caused by the ships, because we know that the ships can cause a lot of disasters at times, and that can be stopped if the routes have been properly, or the transport route which is there, that has uh, restricted to certain areas, where even if some incident happens like oil spill happen or other thing happen, it will not affect the diversity of that land. So there are many examples of restoration in India, like Ganga Action Plan. Initially, it was launched by Sri Rajiv Gandhi, who was the then Prime Minister in 1986. Basically, we know that how Ganga has been polluted due to various reasons. Yes, we have seen this in water pollution. Various corpses have been thrown there. People have keep on doing all worshipping things over there. A lot of sewage, because it travels to through various cities. Lot of industrial effluents have been put into that, so it had become highly toxic, and hence various things came to uh, restore Ganga. And one of the recent events in this was Namami Ganga, which was which was worked by Narendra Modi, now Prime Minister, in the budget tabled in Parliament on 10th July 2014. So it was Arun Jaitley who announced an integrated Ganga development, and it was given 2037 crore. That much of money was allocated, that was sanctioned for cleaning Ganga, because it was highly toxic and polluted. And as we all know, the sentiments we have attached to Ganga river or Ganges, it was a responsibility to clean such holy river. And hence, as a part of program, Government of India ordered the shutdown of 48 industrial units around Ganga, because these industries were major reasons of these, and hence nearby these areas, these things were. So that is one way of restoring, the river. Second, you can see the Taj Mahal picture. You all know a symbol of love, Taj Mahal, which is situated in Agra, Uttar Pradesh. Now, this Taj Mahal was very beautiful earlier. It made up of marble, but now due to acid rain, due to various pollution, it has caused bio leaching of this area. You can see marble has turned to yellowish color, and now a lot of work has been done to clean this also. You can see how dirty, how polluted that area has become. And hence, as a part of restoration, many college students, many school students, many NGOs, various organizations have come forward to clean these areas around it. And you can see how people are involved in restoring of this ecological part. Now, coming to the summary of it, restoration is the separate field in ecology. One should not, it has become emerged as new branch itself, because now there comes various techniques, various ways of restoring. So it is a very different branch now. It provides an opportunity to recreate our natural existence. It is a scientific study supporting the practice of ecological restoration, which is the practice of renewing and restoring degraded, damaged. So basically, this is the same thing, definition. That is, restoring is nothing but whatever has been damaged, we are trying to restore that. We are trying to get back those things. We are trying to recover those things. So that is ecological restoration. So at the end, we have to make our ecosystem very healthy, functional by doing all those things. So one has to, there is a high need. It is not something uh, which has any option, because the way we are destroying it is a very high need to restore our natural habitats through various integrated conservation techniques, gardening and restoration practices. She demonstrated the importance of nurturing. So basically, we have to talk about health of planets. We have to talk about our climate change, survival of various animal species which are existing with a very high rate, and human land livelihoods. So it's that is also a very important thing, that we talk about restoration. We have to build a sustainable environment for our future generation. So thank you everyone. We'll just end up over here.